From as early as I remember, which is, I don't remember a lot about my childhood, but everything that I do remember, I was always gone. From daylight to dark, I'd leave the house. Either I'd go fishing down on the Maine State Pier, and I'd go down there and spend the whole day. I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I'd be down on the Maine State Pier fishing by myself. Or get on my bicycle and just head off into the unknown and just go wherever the road took me, and get home late at night. My mother had fits every day. Where'd you go all day? And then I just do it again the next day. So I was an explorer from an early age.
Boston Harbor, midwinter. The MV Sea Hunter sits at the dock, waiting for a weather window that will allow the crew to head out to the wreck site of the SS Port Nicholson. Team leader Greg Brooks has overcome many obstacles in his pursuit of this wreck. Though this is his most challenging project to date, he remains optimistic. It is through this optimism that he will keep his team going. While for most of the crew this has only been an adventure of a few years, for Greg Brooks it has been the journey of a lifetime. Brooks was born in a one-room cabin in Cherryfield, Maine in February 1951. The third of 9 children, he would experience great poverty and hardship while growing up. From a young age he was thrust into a leadership position. It was up to him as the oldest boy to take care of his younger siblings. His family moved around frequently to various coastal towns in Maine and New Hampshire. It was out of these conditions that his independent spirit emerged, ready to take on any challenges life might throw his way.
My education started, I got out of, when I was in high school, I joined the Marine Corps, and so I didn't finish high school. Then I joined the Marine Corps, but I did get my GED in the Marine Corps. And then I went through the School of Hard Knocks, the College of Hard Knocks, graduated with top honors. And so that's pretty much the education part of it. Well, I started with swimming pools back in when Moby Dick was a minnow. It was so long ago, it's hard to remember all of it. But anyways, I started out, I got a job with a pool company in New Hampshire. And it was because when I had got out of the service, the government had offered us, we'll say the government would pay part of your salary and then the company would pay part of your salary. So it was helped to get the vets working again. And so they had this opening at this swimming pool company. I thought it'd be kind of cool to work with swimming pools. So I went there and started work.
I think by being poor made Greg realize when he did get older and realize that there is a different way of life. It gave him more of a drive to strive for that. He was always a very hard worker. Greg worked hard his whole life, whether it was fixing a car up or helping out here and there, getting odd jobs and things like that. When he started his pool business, he worked that from the ground up.
In January 1980, Brooks met Kathy Cote, a spirited young woman from South Portland, Maine. The pair fell in love and married the following year. He had found a partner in every sense of the word. From there on in, any adventure he would embark on, they would embark on together. Their first project, a swimming pool company, was built from the ground up.
Well, I did that for, I don't know, years and years with the same company. And then we had a falling out about the financial end of it, because I had been there so long and I really wanted a raise and they weren't willing to give us one. And so most of the other people stayed, and I just said, well, if you're not going to give me one, I'm just going to go out and earn my own money. So I left them and I started my own pool company. The first month I made $50 and I thought I was going to starve to death. But then I realized, it's out there, nothing has changed, it's still all these swimming pools, so that meant you had to think of different ideas how to get the business that you needed. the income that you needed. So I went out there and just started coming up with different ways to get new customers, and eventually I brought it up to, you know, we made a lot of money.
With our swimming pool business, it's a seasonal business, so every winter we would decide where we were going to go. And it was a fun experience because we had 4 months off to rejuvenate and get back into the swing of things.
We rented a store in Aqua Diving Academy's building, which is a dive school, a scuba diver school. And they used to go on trips, 2 or 3 trips every year to different places to go diving. Well, one year they were going to go to Haiti, and they asked us if we wanted to go. And I said, well, maybe, I don't know. I had never been to Haiti, never knew anything about Haiti. So anyways, me and Kathy decided we'd go. It was going to be a dive trip for, I think, 10 days or something like that.
The day before we were due to leave Haiti, there were 3 or 4 guys who wanted to do a last dive. And it was pretty comical to watch them. They had to put on these homemade rope weight belts with stones attached.
We found a coral-encrusted silver and black colored object attached to the reef, and when we chiseled it off the reef, it slid down and turned over, and we could see black and silver, and we didn't know what it was. But we tried to pick it up and we couldn't pick it up. It weighed about 70 pounds, somewhere in that range.
When they came back, I have never seen Greg so excited about anything. He was just so ecstatic, but he was trying to keep it quiet too, because there are Tauntaun Makouts walking the shore, and they have machetes, and it was pretty dangerous because it was a dictatorship in that country. Baby Duvalier was running the country at that time, so it's not like they could smuggle out this silver bar that they found. It was a 70-pound silver bar that he was telling me about, and he vowed to come back. At that point in time, I never knew what a pivotal day that was going to be. It literally altered the course of our life.
So when I got to the library, I started doing research in Haiti, the north coast of Haiti, way back, you know, in the 1700s, the Haitian history with King Christopher, I mean, all of it. And I started seeing where these ships were bringing cargoes and treasure galleons were lost with all of this treasure on board. And of course, the more I read, the more fascinated I became. Then it became an obsession. So I went out and raised enough money to buy the 95-foot Silver Seas, and it was a Canadian Coast Guard vessel in Canada, and we brought it down to Portland and started doing the rehab on it. And then we left Portland, Maine, and headed to the Carolinas and South Carolina, and we worked a pirate ship off of the Carolinas, off of Charleston. Then we went to the Bahamas and worked over there for a while. Then we went down to Key West and worked with Mel Fisher a bit. We made money here and there, little bits of money, but nothing, you know, nothing like you should or what. But every day you thought you were going to. That's why you did it. I mean, every day you jumped in the water, you said, today I'm going to find something awesome. And some days you did find awesome things, like when you find some coin. The first coin you find, you go, ah, you know, because you think that some pirate held that. And that kept you going all the time. It still does.
My dad started treasure hunting when I was about 5 or 6 years old. I remember going to his first ship, the Silver Seas, when I was probably 6 years old. I recall seeing some of the artifacts. When I was little, my dad had an office on 4th Street in Portland, and he had some artifacts on display there. Some artifacts of interest were pieces of dinnerware from a wreck that was called the Porcelain Wreck, which was recovered off of Haiti. It was a French wreck from the 1700s, and I remember looking at those pieces of porcelain dinnerware and just being really intrigued by those. I remember thinking they came from Bluebeard because they were blue, but they didn't.
We brought up some artifacts and things, but in the early days, we really didn't have any money. I mean, we went down there with next to nothing. You know, because that's just what we didn't have it. So what do? Stop, go home, go to bed? No, we just do it anyways. You know, we figured it out. If we ran out of fuel, we get long sticks and push ourselves. So it just, we had the drive.
After the Silver Seas, Brooks went through several ships. Each new vessel was larger and more capable than the one that came before. Every new salvage project would only increase Brooks's ambition. the subsea research crew traveled all over the eastern seaboard, seeking out new opportunities and collecting a variety of exciting artifacts. They made it back to Haiti on a few occasions, though the elusive silver bar was never recovered. While in Haiti, the team worked on many notable wrecks, including locating famed pirate Henry Morgan's flagship, the Oxford. Despite their findings, the Haitian government was in constant upheaval, and no legal agreements could be reached in that country. Similar legal troubles followed Brooks and his crew in the United States. The famed Notre Dame de Deliverance wreck off the coast of Florida seemed like a sure bet for the company until Spain sparked a lawsuit against subsea research. Despite these setbacks, Brooks did not give up on his company. In the summer of 2008, the 220-foot research vessel, the MV Sea Hunter, was purchased. This vessel would be used primarily in recovering the Port Nicholson wreck. With its 100-foot A-frame, spacious deck, and capacity to carry 17 men, the MV Sea Hunter was just what the company needed to fit their growing crew and new equipment. They were ready to set out for their biggest and most rewarding challenge yet.
What we believe to be on the Port Nicholson is probably between $3 and $4 billion in gold and platinum. And that's what the records indicate. We have documentation that shows there's 4,882 gold ingots, and each one weighing 400 ounces, and 742 platinum ingots, each weighing around 400 ounces. So that, in today's value, if you go by just the basic metal values, it's right around $3.5 to $4 billion.
4.5 years after they first discovered the wreck, the crew of the MV Sea Hunter is closer than they've ever been to recovering the treasure of the SS Port Nicholson. They wait for the weather to cooperate, sitting at the dock and working hard to prepare for the days to come. The crew continually searches for ways to recover the cargo. This troubleshooting is important to the mission and will provide them with backup plans in case things don't go as hoped. No matter what it takes, the crew is ready.
It took us one whole summer to search the ocean floor out there. We covered 125 square miles before we located the Port Nicholson. And so the skeptics say, okay, there's probably nothing on it. But they don't have the documentation we do. We spent years and years digging up documents that are classified, that were just declassified. We've been through the archives. It's just, our documentation is fantastic. It's probably the best in the world. And most of these transports were top secret, so the average person wouldn't know anything about it.
Nothing any skeptic could say will stop Brooks and the crew from believing their mission will succeed. Their drive is only buoyed by the knowledge that they are about to set out on the adventure of a lifetime.